Evidently, he just how he knew the Earth to be banana shaped.
No, I mean it. He was the very best, as sure as the Earth is round.
You don't believe that, Coach?
No, you know, I never used to believe it, Sam, till I saw those pictures from the space shuttle.
He basically said, I want you to go sell LNG like the world looks flat.
And someone else says it's flat. That's worth reporting.
Anything happened on the way to the moon. They forgot the melody, so they made up a new tune. NASA was laughing their asses off at the buffoons, watching this shit thinking it's real when it was just a cartoon. All that shit collapses right in front of your face, the moment you cannot see the stars from outer space. I will have any astronaut's forehead wrinkling when I ask why there's not a solitary star twinkling. Man lands on the moon, dust on your landing pod. There's not a bigger bullshit fairy tale that you could cobble. You forgot the burn crater underneath the lunar module. After your trance, turn off your television. Shit is about to get enhanced. The music's about to begin, you better get ready to dance. Shit is way beyond obscene. Warriors are gathering, getting ready to intervene. The very people who've lied to you about their lunar landing have given the whole planet an uber misunderstanding. Circusy clowns nervously frown when you point out the computer-generated image of Earth that is perfectly round. We searched and we found all of these anomalies. When you put them together, it's comedy. The exaggerated nervia, using a fisheye lens just to fabricate the curvature. Half these so-called astronauts don't know what space is. You can see the duping delight on their Freemasonic faces. They are light years from logical. Is it oblate? Is it pear-shaped? It's absolutely comical. They can't seem to make up their mind. They're thinking you're blind. You know what? They're motherfucking right, so I had to tell you one more time. Is it flat or is it round? If you're looking for the truth, it shall be found. Is it a disc? Is it a sphere? Do you really think the answer is that clear?
Blah, bam, boom.
of NASA's most requested space photos. This view of Earth, known as the Blue Marble, was taken in 1972 from about 18,000 miles away as Apollo 17 was traveling to the moon. So I run across this in a 2019 National Geographic. And this is where they show us that we live. For many years, I looked at this here and just saw the Blue Marble. I saw what they told me to see. Then you start questioning things, and you start looking into all the images you have. You find out about Ron Simmons. Then you try to find something that's not Ron Simmons. And it brings you back to this picture here. And it's really crazy. Because now I see this as a piece of art. How do I do this? Guess I could try to explain to you 5 little Easter eggs. It's really much deeper than that. But these 5 seem to jump out. Start with what I'll call the magician, or Mickey and Fantasia. That's pretty interesting to me. A little fuzzy, I guess. But it is what it is, I guess.
Some of you may be aware of the flat earth theory, and if it's not a theory, it's a fact. But I have my own interpretation on exactly what's going on here and would like to add an addendum to the society. So basically, I have 2 models, 2.5 models. The first model is, okay, the Earth is flat, right? And we're in a geothermal pocket. Now, what if past the Arctic Circle, there's what I have coined the glacial frontier. Now, beyond the glacial frontier is more pockets. So what we have here is a flat plane that doesn't end at the Arctic Circle. It only begins. So what we're looking at here is many more geothermal pockets, much like some of the extraterrestrials have been mentioned to be human. Well, they're advanced societies from a very far-off geothermal pocket, and you would need their technology to traverse the huge expanse in seconds. And the universe isn't out there. The universe is right here. Thus, that's why the propaganda machine was meant where, there is no place off the Earth. There's no land bridge. There's no nothing. There's nowhere to go. You're stuck on this plane. So why would you perpetuate propaganda unless you had, there was a nefarious plan? Well, they want you to think, in my opinion, that this is the only game in town. This is the only place to go. There's no other carnival. This is the only one. It's the best show, greatest show on Earth, and don't go anywhere else. Don't look over the fence. Don't think outside the box. And, there are no utopias. This is just a miserable mud ball, and that's the way it is, and it's a free-range plantation, and that's the bottom line. What if beyond that the universe is not past the firmament, it is right here? And all we have to do is look over the fence, but they won't allow us. The Treaty of Nations is a very suspect thing. Now, the other model is, what if we're stacked? Some of the New Agers say that, there's 12 densities and so on and so forth. Well, okay. In another model that I've created, that what if they are indeed stacked? What if there are 12 hermetically sealed? The ring does go around. The Arctic Circle is the end of the frontier. We are stacked like in a test tube controlled environment. Realize that's why they would perpetuate such propaganda, because they want to benefit off of it. Now some secret societies are doing this, so we only build their machine. Tried to think about it. Okay, we just build their technocracy, their robotic machine, and then it's a miserable mud ball. And then when they're done with us, they're gonna, once they reach the technology to traverse the universe, the local universe, as it were, they're gonna get rid of us. and they're already breaking that ground if they haven't already, and we've outlived our usefulness, hence why they've activated the GMO and all the poisons and stuff. So that is the most logical model, knowing what I know about all the secret societies and all the research I've done as far as nefarious plans go. That's the big game, and it's really very close to home, and it's really quite basically obvious once you open your mind to the fact that the Earth isn't round. And then once you get your head around that, a lot of the footage, the 3D footage, is very convincing. But then someone could argue that Star Trek is very convincing. A lot of these alien movies, they're very convincing. Everything is very convincing. So why wouldn't they? And the government is well known for hiring Disney and other movie studios to propagate propaganda, to push an agenda. It's all just to keep the free-range slaves thinking very small and in circles and building their machine. And that's it. We're just chattel to them. So those are basically my two theories. I had to get them out there. I wanted to add a little...
Geocentricity to the flat Earth. Now, admittedly, the geocentricity isn't as the flat Earth, because the flat Earth, geocentricity, well, the Earth's stationary and everything else is moving. And, but I know this geocentricity is a little bit enticing for people, because they like to be like Buddha, where they take the middle way. You know how people like to be moderate or kind of like compromised a little bit? So they're like, okay, well, I'm not going to go flat Earth, but I'm not going to buy into the, the normal view of the solar system either. So I'm just going to kind of take a middle route, geocentricity and stuff like that, all the way back to ancient Egypt, ancient Sumerians, Romans, Greeks, whatever. But, people did believe in geocentricity for a long time, and that, that became...
toothpaste up your nose. Toothpaste up your nose. And it doesn't go up your nose. There's nothing to push it up your nose.
Yeah.
Pear-shaped.
Forget it.
Forget it.
Then the world is flat.
It's flat.
Is the world flat?
That the world is flat.
The world is flat, right? The world is the world is flat.
Oh, it's the world flat. That's true.
The world, she's flat.
Earth is flat.
World is flat.
Get out of our hands, how everything started to bloom around. We see colors and also the last gray fade. There is no space for it. There is no time for it. One life to indulge.
Hear that click? Is you gonna help me click? They're all the same. I'll show you politics in America. Here it is, right here. I think the puppet on the right shares my beliefs. I think the puppet on the left is more to my liking. Hey, wait a minute. There's one guy holding up both puppets. Shut up. Go back to bed, America. Your government is in control. Here's Love Connection. Watch this and get fat and stupid. By the way, keep drinking beer. Bum, bum, they go to the new president. Any questions? Just what my agenda is.
He called a cotton gin. His name was Swintley, and they called him a crackpot, too. And they said the same thing about a man called Wadley. And before that, there was a man who thought the world was round.
We don't have time for a meeting of the Flat Earth. Don't have time, 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 don't have time for a meeting of the Flat Earth Society.
Candy!
Huh? Think the world was flat. Huh? Think the world was flat. Huh? Think the world was.
Me now. Quit me now. Oh. Me, oh, me, oh, me, oh. Not me, oh. Me now. Me now. Quit me now. Oh. Me, oh, me, oh, me, oh. Not me, oh. Me now. Not me, oh. Oh, quit, oh, me, oh, me, oh, now,
It empowers you far beyond those who know only what to think. Because the chances are you're betting on something that's not true.
To objective truth. How do you know when you've reached the objective truth? Can you talk
Yeah,
about
very important question, Pax. The most important question. We can answer that and then we're done. Earth is round. Have survived and have risen up out of all manner of experiments, some of which were designed to try to show that it's wrong. And then it turns out to be further support of what the idea is. So an objective truth would be, we can start very simple. It's stuff.
what are these other types of truth?
Oh yeah, so I just split it into sort of three. Oh, I left out a third truth. I call it a political truth. This is what is true, what you believe to be true, simply because it's been repeated so many times. Earth is round. Move to a dictatorship and let other people do your thinking for you. Cancel out. These are experiments you can do. So no matter what they're telling you about it, there's no magnetic field going into your body. So you just spent money that you could have spent on something else. This is the protection that being scientifically literate does for you, provides for you. And that protection is not based on knowledge, although that helps. It's based on your ability to ask questions about the claim that's being made and presented to you.
That actually.
The Owen thing, though, always gets me. I read his tweets, and I know he's smart enough to. He posts these things about the moon landing and why it was fake, and there is no.
I'm open to.
You know. Sure. Well, as soon as Mr. Costello gets here, I'll bring it down to you.
That's fine.
So, okay.
Oh, by the way.
What?
You know that lodge I belong to, the Fraternal Order of Mud Turtles?
Oh, yes.
Well, they're having their national convention here next week, and I'm on the committee. Now, they asked me if I could get a couple of judges for the bathing beauty contest. It's an annual affair, you know, and I thought maybe that you two boys might help me out.
But, Mr. Fields, we don't belong to your lodge.
That's just it. Members of the lodge can't be judges, must be impartial outsiders.
Well, and we're your boys.
I knew I could depend on you.
Sure.
The contest will take place next Saturday.
Okay, we'll be there.
Good. Wait a minute. We ought to be able to work this thing out.
What do you mean?
Especially if you and Costello would like to do me a little favor.
Why, for you, anything, Mr. Fields, anything at all.
You know,
just name it.
My niece, she's going to enter this mud turtle bathing beauty contest, and since you and Costello are going to be the judges, I thought maybe...
Oh, I see. Yes.
Hmm?
I imagine. I imagine.
We understand each other?
That will take care of everything?
Right.
Well, congratulations, Miss Mud Turtle of 1950. All right, everything's lovely. Everything. All right, everything's lovely. Everything's fine. All right, everything's lovely. Everything. It's all taken care of.
Have a good night.
Powers that be, powers that be, the powers that be. They're like a tough game, no rules. Some you win, some you lose. Competition's good for you. They're dying to be free. They're the powers that be. Like a bomb-proof Cadillac, air-conditioned gold taps, backseat gun rack, platinum hubcaps. They're big horses for courses. They're the market forces. They're like order, makeup, limelight, power, game shows, rodeo, Star Wars TV.
Roger, Challenger, everything looks great down here. Correct.
You better run. You better run on home.
Roger, you're looking good here. Attention. Run away, Houston.
Citizens of mercy, better join with your brothers. Put a stop to the soap opera right now. They say the toothless get ruthless. You better run on home. Better run.
In Samuel.
Powers that be. Powers that be. Powers that be.
David.
Treats. Carrots and sticks. Yeah, fear and loathing. floating. Blacked out plans, contingency plans. They like death or glory. They love a good story.
He'd like to know, what does the moon smell like?
It smells like the dust. Put a stop to the soap opera state. They say the toothless, yeah, ruthless. Run home before it's too late.
I think Sandy's hair is pretty much a dead giveaway.
It is.
Oh, there's a pose for you right there.
The trippy took to the moon with.
Our war on terror. Our war on terror.
One thing I really want your generation to embrace is that the Earth is a closed system. We cannot leave the Earth. There's no place to go.
I think you're better at ping pong than I am.
Here's how. Just simply use a blue screen. Voila, now you have a bubble of water floating, as if he's in the outer space, inside the ISS.
Do you think the Earth is flat or no?
I know it's flat.
You know it's flat? How long have you been flying for, you said?
Over 30 years.
And when you tell people that, do you date them?
Only one person.
Only one person?
Yeah, you're
All right.
recording.
This is BBC One. And now plenty of ideas for things to do as we join the Cardiff team who say, why don't you?
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Coffee, 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 coffee.
Weather meteorologist Alyssa Carlson. She joins us live in the studio. Alyssa, this really is the calm before the storm.
Not again. No. Oh.
You know, we're going to go ahead and go to break right now.
Yeah. We'll be. Oh.
be working for such a wonderful long journey.
The Voyager team is now able to use format thrusters that previously used to
Within the pentagram is a secret for creating a golden rectangle, which the Greeks admired for its beautiful proportions and magic qualities. The star contains the golden rectangle many times over. Rectangle. Rectangle.
Attention, Enterprise. I am speaking to you from the Romulan flagship. The USS Enterprise, under command of Captain James T. Kirk, is formally charged with espionage. The testimony of First Officer Spock was highly instrumental in confirming this intrusion to follow the Romulan flagship to our home base. You will there be processed and released to Federation Command. Until judgment is passed, Captain Kirk will be held in confinement.
Security, put our 2 Romulan hostages in a brig. Lieutenant Uhura, give me a channel to that ship.
Channel is open, Mr. Scott, and you are tied in.
This is Lieutenant Commander Scott. The Enterprise takes no orders except those of Captain Kirk, and we will stay right here until he returns. And if you make any attempt to board or commandeer the Enterprise, it will be blown to bits along with as many of you as we can take with us.
You humans make a brave noise. There are ways to convince you of your errors.
Did you hear that, you coward? You've betrayed everything of value.
Let's go explore. Let's go find the door to the new world. We need us there. When you want something more, life is a bore. Try exploring space someday.
Well, we are doing everything we can to make life better on Earth, with developing new drugs, finding ways to, you name it, we are trying. Everything we do here is either to make life better on the planet or to enable us to explore. And, well, we spend a lot of time taking pictures, playing with our food is nice, calling people on Earth and keeping in contact with our friends and family. Playing with our food is nice. Playing with our food is nice. You name it, we are trying. Everything we do here is either taking pictures, playing with our food is nice. You name it, we are trying.
I'm an astronaut. Flew on the space shuttle twice, and I lived on the International Space Station for almost 6 months. People often ask me the same question, which is, what's it like in space? As if it was a secret. And space belongs to all of us. And I'd like to help you understand why it's a place that is magic. Kabunk. And we are weightless. And the mission and the magic begin. My favorite part about living up there was the flying. I loved it. It was like being Peter Pan. So we take our urine, we store it, we filter it, and then we drink it. And it's actually delicious. So the space station for me is the place where mission and magic come together. Thank you.
Since the time of Jules Verne, man has imagined traveling to the moon. The old idea of how to get to the moon was to send one spacecraft all the way there and back. However, NASA engineers have developed a modern approach where one rocket contains several ships that will make the journey together. Just as Columbus took a rowboat from the Santa Maria to the shore of the New World.
Turn the handle and open the hatch. You pull yourself out into the universe, and now suddenly When you move your knees, you can feel the searing heat of the sun on one side and the incredibly cold emptiness of space on the other. When you're no longer Earthlings, how do you navigate? You can use the stars.
Space Force.
And in December, I signed a historic directive that will return Americans to the moon.
There you go. We can have games on a Saturday and play space ping pong.
This is a secret I've been keeping for almost half a century. Armstrong and I pulled off humanity's first Joe prank.
After 37 years of inactivity, NASA engineers have managed to fire up the backup thrusters of Voyager 1, humanity's farthest and longest-lived spacecraft.
I think none of us knew when we launched 40 years ago that anything...
Playing with their food is nice. You name it, we are trying. Playing with their food is nice. Playing with their food is nice. You name it, we are
Hi,
trying.
it's Paxi, your space friend. I love looking up at the night sky. It always reminds me of my home planet, Alio, which is far, far away. It's what you call an exoplanet. Do you want to know what that is? I'll explain. An exoplanet is a planet outside of the solar system. It orbits another star. Exoplanets are very far from us, which makes it very difficult for us to spot them, not to mention impossible for humans to visit for now. How do we know exoplanets are there? Scientists use telescopes on Earth and in space to discover them. They do this by studying the light from stars. When a star wobbles like this, it means a planet is pulling on it. The heavier the planet, the bigger the wobble. If the light from a star appears to dim like this, it means a planet is passing in front of it. We call this a transit. The bigger the planet, the deeper the dim. Sometimes the telescope can even see it. This is how we discover exoplanets. So far, my scientist friends have already discovered thousands of exoplanets. They also found many different types of exoplanets. Let's take a look.
He said he's agreed to do it. Talk with Neil deGrasse Tyson.
What?
Yes. He's gonna Skype in.
I had asked you to debate one of them flat Earth guys.
No, I don't. I can't. No.
I know. We talked about it, and we were gonna have him on Skype.
No.
That stuff is flat.
Hey. I think you understand, but do you really? What's the difference between mass, weight, and density, for example? Well, let's find out.
Up this beach ball.
I just got to straighten some things out.
Okay.
That I think that people, have this all confused, and I want to straighten it out. That comprise Chuck.
Okay.
That's your mass. I could take you
up this beach ball
and put you on the moon. You'll weigh less.
You're a waste of space.
So why didn't I flinch immediately from those?
In terms of conspiracy theory content generally, our goal is to promote authoritative content to our users. So we have two principles that guide the way here. That's the first one, is we want to provide users with authoritative, trustworthy information.
I'm sorry to cut you off. I only have a minute and a half, and I don't really need to hear what you're trying to provide. I want to know how you're dealing with all these conspiracy theorists on your platform.
So the first way is by demoting low-quality content and promoting more authoritative content, and the second is by providing more transparency for users. So we're introducing boxes that provide factual information at the top of results that have shown themselves to turn up a lot of information that is counterfactual, such as searching for the Earth is flat on YouTube, where you see a lot of...
Your response is to put a box saying, nope, the Earth is not flat.
Correct.
Okay.